This story is the story of a boy named Brian who gets magical shoes. How he uses these shoes will be quite interesting. At the beginning of the movie, we saw a boy playing. The year 2005, Brian was playing basketball. While playing, he broke a bulb by mistake and got a pair of basketball shoes there. Brian took the shoes and took the house and put the top of the TV. Then the power outside started to stir. A vigorous electric blow dropped over the antenna of the TV and reached the TV through current wires. Seeing, they filled out the shoes with electricity. When Brian tried to pick up the shoes, he hit a vigorous shock and he dropped several meters away. Later, when he saw shoes wearing, they fit him absolutely. The next day, Brian reached the street basketball match wearing those AJ shoes. The rules of this game were 3 people's teams will face each other and top 3 will get a chance to play with professional teams. Host introduced professional players. The first came to Carter, the second Wolf King, the third Paul, the fourth Water God, and the fifth were Dangerous and Angry Big Shark. Big Shark was filled with anger before the game began. When street player landed in front of professional players, they didn't have any counterpart strength at all. They'd repeatedly blocked and become a joke hunt. They couldn't tick in front of the moves that rotate the pro players, especially wetting the Wolf King's air, moves challenging gravity, and shots fitted from the Big Shark's half court. But once Big Shark's shot was missed and the ball fell directly into Brian's hands, Big Shark immediately warned him and said, "If it is man, hit the shot, the useless person." Brian took a shot without thinking, and the ball went straight into the net. Also from the distance outside the court, Big Shark couldn't tolerate it and hit one shot himself, but he bounced out of the rim. In order to save his respect, he told Brian to kill again the shot. Brian again raised the hand, and the ball was in the net. In anger, Big Shark said, "You turn out to be lucky," and pulled Brian loudly and brought into the ground. In the name of combating, he pushed Brian by his string. All the people in the field on this action strongly condemned the Big Shark. Now both had a face. As the match began, he pushed the boy with full strength and dropped. Echoed the whole field from hooting. Now it was the boy's turn. He dropped his enemy from fast and unique moves and basket easily. The whole field echoed from the pallets for the boy. Big Shark completely flared and said, "It's not a decision to win with the same point." But as he threw the ball, all were surprised. The ball fell straight into the boy's hands. The boy first did a fake move, dodged the enemy, and then bounced loudly and took another point. The entire field was riot. No one thought that by 2 days ago he was just an ordinary boy who missed the shot in matches, whose ball was repeatedly stripped. His 2 partners were weird too. One could hit the shot from just one special place, and the other thick boy who had to hold the rhythm by singing before shot every time. But where do opposition give them so much time? Brian often loses, but he never lost. He was sure that one day he would make his name in the street basketball court. The story of that night is repeat how he got the magical shoes. Perhaps hardworking children's luck also gives them with. That's why they became a normal shooter magical shoes from the current. With the help of these shoes, Brian defeated an ego player and showed him the true mirror. A coach standing nearby Brian's game saw carefully, and when Brian was still celebrating his victory, hanging on the basket, the coach immediately invited Brian to join his team. In this way, Brian's wonderful basketball journey started. After the game, Brian was going home with his friends when Brian told his friends about those magical shoes. By reaching home, he told his father, who went to his foreign work in connection with his father. He told his father, "I was invited to go to the tour, but I am not even 18 now, so you have to walk with me because this is the rule." He refuses to go to the tour with his father Brian, but his mother gets ready to send a boy Ray with him. When the game began, the streetball team was losing badly to the university team. The match's adventure was almost over. Then the coach fielded 13 years of Brian. As the viewers saw a child coming to play, laughter and sounds of joke echoed. But Brian wasn't nervous at all. In the first attempt, he took a 3-digit shot and silenced the entire field. After that, he organized the team in a fantastic way and showed the best palace with the peers. His aggressive game style changed the atmosphere. Brian's tremendous accuracy reversed the entire match. He won a number of games after one, which gradually became famous Brian. His neighbor friend, who never had a feeling before, now came to him himself and offered to become his manager. But after being famous, Brian had forgotten those old friends as he didn't even want to talk to them. Brian's game lifted more brightness in the later matches. He used to tram the entire team alone, doesn't pass the ball peers. The entire court became its private show. The result was that the team would win even though, but his partners were disappointed and desperate. But Brian didn't care about that. In just a few matches, his soullessness began to touch. People took him hands. The crowd of journalists besieged him. Name and Shorat completely surrounded his mind. He Shore's old friends and even his partner players started getting away from him. Now he spends all his time just with his neighbor friend Ray. Ray shows him the dream of making a basketball superstar. Advertising, movies, shows, just starting to make money with his name and identity. Then a national level streetball competition began. The field was filled with viewers and large scouts. Brian was very well welcomed as the basketball genius. Before the match, sponsor betrayed Brian wears his shoes, but Brian knew his special shoes were his strength. He rejected this demand. In this match, his match was from the country's strongest streetball team. Their capacity was different levels. Brian's partners easily shocked at their hands, defend, and they screw fantastic. Anti-steady played and increased the score rapidly. But in the second game, Brian took over. He made the conference with the peers, collected continuously points. His team also started joking about rivals. Even they pulled out a player's pants. Anti-coach went to complain to the referee in anger, but it was street ball, where the rules weren't that strict. On halftime, all players returned to the locker room. When explaining the coach strategy was going to send them again to the ground, Brian saw his shoes. His manager, Ray, has changed quietly. Ray took those shoes with him. He now didn't have those special shoes, and without them, Brian didn't know how he would play next. Now that they weren't shoes, Brian wasn't able to play at all. Before planting the shot, the ball goes straight to the Anti's hands, and the shooting was so impaired that the ball does not touch the ring either. Echoed the whole stadium hooting. After all, his team lost badly. Everything changed after this loss. Advertising companies broke all their contracts from him, and his greedy manager, who was no longer looking at any advantages, left Brian by showing their real face. After losing everything, Brian returned to his house. He realized he left his best friends in the dazzle of money. Left home, he met his old peers and apologized to them. Friends hesitated some late, but he waited Brian because mistakes happen from every single one. He decided that all together will participate in the Street Basketball Kings tournament. Although his condition was still very bad, it was the biggest joy for him to play together. Meanwhile, Brian's mother got the shoes that the manager had thrown before. This increased the team's confidence and confidence. Brian was very happy. The tournament of Street Basketball Kings was very gorgeous. Even the NBA's giant gliders Clyde Drexler was also called. Many teams soaked, and finally, only one had to become a champion. Brian's manager and Big Shark's team was also in the tournament. They were also famous for the dark colors as well as the clever and dirty games, intentional hitting, fouling, and breaking the rules. Finally, the championship rust was between Brian's team and manager Ray's team. As the match began, Big Shark again fouled, but the Motu wasn't even behind and immediately replied to him. Although Brian's shots made pressure on opponents, he was still scoring continuously due to his height and strength. The worst happened when Brian's take-up stopped Kazan by badly foul. Brian's shoes were broken and he lost his power again. Over the time, a partner of his also was injured. The team was desperate that then Brian's father came there. Dad was once a famous streetball player, but he left basketball for the job. They got down to the field in place of that injured player. It became difficult to stop them when they landed in the mud on. Scoring continuously, he alone brought the match to the equivalent. Now the match had to be decided on the last ball. Dad flashed towards the basket, raising the defenders. But at the last moment, he passed the ball Brian. Dad wanted to say, under every situation you should trust yourself. Brian took the shot by raising courage. All eyes were on the same. The ball made a beautiful arc in the air and fell directly into the mesh. They won. They became the last champion. There are always many interruptions in life, but every failure makes us a new form and makes us moving forward. Who's who never seen a lose? But if there is dream and confidence in the heart, one day we'll definitely get the goal we want. I will give 4 out of 10 numbers in this movie. How you feel in the comment and like the video, and also subscribe to channel.